Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A bold ATM heist in broad daylight. 4 men ambushed a worker, grabbed the cash, and vanished. This morning, we have an update from San Antonio police on the search for the suspects.
A walkout, a showdown, and now arrest warrants. Texas House Democrats flee the state to block a redistricting vote. Well, this morning we got why the stalemate is far from over.
Plus, a deadly crash on I-35 now tied to a stolen car. We now know the 2 men facing charges after 5 lives were lost.
And good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Tuesday. We've got Ernie back in the building.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Much cooler in here and fewer gnats here and mosquitoes than yesterday in Kerrville. But it was bittersweet to be there. Reconnected with some friends that we made earlier in the month, or in July, I should say, with the flooding and everything. We'll have more on that coming up throughout the morning.
Well, that humidity definitely out there. See if it's playing a part here on the local stats. Let's get over to meteorologist Justin Horn. How are we looking today?
Well, you know, it's actually not bad this morning. We've got temperatures in the mid-70s right now. It could be worse, I guess is my point, but be prepared for a very, very hot August-like afternoon. Let's look at the numbers right now. So we're at 73 here in San Antonio. Kerrville has slipped down to 69, but still 81 in Eagle Pass. Your warmest temperatures are going to be out west, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs. Where are we headed today? It's a pretty boring forecast. Going to warn you of that. Temperatures will make their way through the 70s this morning and then eventually to 90 noontime and then up around 98 for a high today. Now, yesterday we only got to 93, and that was because of that cloud cover and that outflow boundary that came down from the north. We are not going to see that today. So we'll see those temperatures really start climbing. We'll probably see quite a few triple digits this week. So here's something interesting. What we did is we went and calculated when we could see our first cold front. We went back through the decade and averaged it all out. And you can see September 23rd there. We'll explain this graphic and we'll get into more detail on when we might get a cool down coming up in just a bit. Ernie?
All right, sir, thank you very much. New this morning, a deadly crash overnight on the west side. San Antonio police say a 19-year-old man was speeding down General McMullen on a motorcycle when a woman in a sedan pulled into the intersection at Wallace Street. Police say the car clipped the bike, sending the rider crashing. He was pronounced dead at the scene by EMS. Family members arrived shortly after. Police say the driver of the car is not facing any charges.
This morning, San Antonio police are still looking for 4 men who stole money from a worker as he restocked an ATM just southwest of downtown. So this happened yesterday in a parking lot on South Zarzamora, just north of Highway 90, where police say that the worker was servicing the ATM. When he opened it, the 4 men rolled up, demanded that he get out of the way, and then police say that the criminals took off with the cash boxes from the ATM. Officers found the boxes along Zarzamora Street, but they didn't have any money in them.
This morning, we are still waiting to see what charges will be filed against a man who was in a standoff with police for several hours. That man is now in jail. So it all happened at a home on Longview Drive on the east side near I-10 and Loop 410. San Antonio police say the man was firing a handgun inside the house. According to police, a woman and her 2 children inside were able to leave the home safely. And eventually, officers were able to get the man to come out. At this time, it is unknown what he will be charged with.
All right, so these 2 men right here facing theft charges, a connection to that I-35 and Casson Road crash. Now, this is the crash, if you will remember, that happened last month and sadly killed 5 people. 21-year-old Eric Perez and 18-year-old Matthew Espinosa were arrested this past weekend. They're accused of driving a stolen Camaro that caused that crash. Now, a crash report states that the stolen Camaro attempted to weave between a truck and a small bus on the highway before the collision. And records show both suspects already posted bond.
All right, so this morning, Texas House Democrats are still outside the state in a move to block Republicans from redrawing congressional districts. Democrats know they don't have the votes to stop it, but by skipping the session, they prevented the House from moving forward for now. In response, lawmakers back here in Texas have now voted to issue civil arrest warrants, but those only apply here in Texas. So for now, the standoff continues.
I am hopeful there'll be more members here tomorrow, but I am disappointed that while these members are here reporting for their duty under the Constitution, others are out of the state, in New York, in Chicago, in places they do not represent, obviously getting lots of attention at this time.
So Governor Greg Abbott threatened to remove the Democrats from their positions if they do not come back. As for what comes next, it's unclear what it will take to bring the Texas Democrats back to the state.
Look, I didn't run for office to walk out of the Capitol, but I also didn't run for office to stand by while democracy is stolen in broad daylight. Texas Democrats broke quorum because sometimes the only way to uphold your oath is to refuse to play along with a rigged game.
So 2 of the seats up for redistricting are in South Texas. One is in Houston, another is in Dallas, and the 5th stretch is between San Antonio and Austin.
At the newest Kirk County Commissioners Court meeting, we got members discussing a proposed budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, and it found the flood recovery will end up costing them. Now, that includes $400,000 on costs for autopsies, about $10 million on road repairs, which is what FEMA is estimating. And they're also looking at $2 million in lost revenue from taxes on properties that won't be collected as a result of the disaster. They're considering adding more positions to the sheriff's department, and this is still in the works, but they're looking at $71 million in total expenses with a $12.5 million deficit in next year's budget. They said that they are not considering a tax rate increase, but are considering giving employees a raise.
Hey there, good morning, San Antonio. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Take a look at this video. What is that brown water gushing out of that ceiling? Pretty gross, right? Oh, yeah. An airline passenger captured the video at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport yesterday. A spokesperson for the airport says crews are working to clean and sanitize the space, and the ceiling leak is under investigation. The incident did not impact airport operations, but a security checkpoint was temporarily closed. And a judge says Sean Diddy Combs cannot go home from jail to await sentencing for his prostitution-related conviction. The judge issued a decision Monday to deny the rap and style mogul latest bid for bail. Combs has been in jail since his arrest in September. He faced federal charges of coercing girlfriends into having drug-fueled sex marathons with other men. Now, he was acquitted last month of the top charges, which were racketeering and sex trafficking. Combs was convicted of 2 counts of a prostitution-related offense. He denied all of the charges. In Ohio, a 5th person is now under arrest after this violent brawl that was in Cincinnati that's left the city really on edge. Police say it started as a verbal argument but quickly turned physical and went viral. Video from the scene shows a man shouting a racial slur while on the ground, sparking outrage online and political fallout. The video shows a group hitting and kicking people while they are on the ground. The mayor there says he's working with the governor to bring more resources, including SWAT teams, to restore calm.
All right, you know that video out of Atlanta, I thought that was the sequel to the Poop Cruise or something like that. I don't know if you guys have seen that on Netflix. Pretty crazy stuff. All right, how are things looking on the roads on this Tuesday morning? I see you smiling, Justin. Okay, right here, 35. Justin refused to watch the Poop Cruise the other day. Okay. 35 at San Marcos. Traffic along the downtown area is moving along there. 35 at Zarzamora. Good morning to all of our folks there in that part. All right, let's give you an update on some overnight construction. 1604 at Hebner Road over here, Northwest Military. Blanco Road traffic is moving along. No construction there after some overnight work was being done along 1604. That entire stretch continues to get a lot of overnight work, and there's going to be a lot more as we get closer to the start of school as they kind of ramp that up to not cause too many delays there. 35 both directions here. Southbound traffic over by Olympia Parkway, seen some backups, and also northbound traffic over by Topperwine, a little bit of delays there as well. Construction related, no accidents across the city of San Antonio right now. And let's go to Alex Gomez in Drive Cam as he is back with us. And good to have you on this Tuesday morning. Alex, how are things looking on the roads?
RJ, good morning. Well, I'm going to give the north side the all clear because right now I'm on 281 and I actually just left 281. I'm on 1604 now. I'm going to swing by to the northeast side to see if there's any construction delays. But right now I'm not tracking any incidents across the city, RJ.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Alex Gomez in Drive Cam. All right. Now to the never boring Justin Horn. What's up, man?
Thank you. On behalf of RJ, to everyone that was eating breakfast this morning, we apologize. Anyway, high pressure is starting to build in, and this means a lot of heat coming up But as I said earlier, when might we see our first front of the season? We'll talk about it coming up.
You know, I was going to say the same thing, Justin. RJ, come on, man. New mental health guardrails for ChatGPT, while the popular AI is now telling users to take a break. Plus, we got one YouTuber's wild stress test for the Galaxy Z Fold 7.
And a viral octopus encounter sparks backlash. Now the mother of the child involved is firing back at the San Antonio Aquarium. Why she says their statement is false and defamatory. Coming up. It's 5:13 now. A 9-year-old girl in Bernie has collected thousands of dollars to help Hill Country flood victims.
So our Every Ever shows us how keychains will help Kerrville pets alive.
And it took us a lot of tries to get it right.
Hundreds of keychains hang in this collection. But what you can't see from this display is that the designer is only 9 years old.
And I wanted to do something. I wanted to help. And so I thought I could make little keychains.
Meet Grayson Gonzalez.
Show us how you start.
We can pick anything.
She's the soon-to-be 4th grader, making keychains to collect donations for animals affected by the Hill Country floods.
My goal is to help all of these pets get home.
Using her family iPad.
You can move your heart, you can move the paw.
Her creativity.
Blue and purple?
Blue and purple, okay.
Let's do that.
And a 3D printer she got for Christmas.
Download.
Grayson has made more than 200 keychains.
It's coming out blue now.
And she's raised even more money.
How much have you raised?
Almost 3,000.
Your smile just got so big.
I was really shocked.
All the donations she makes will go to Kerrville Pets Alive. They're a group taking care of animals after the floods. Grayson got her own dog Boo from a sister organization in San Antonio.
So Boo is part of your inspiration then, huh?
Yes.
As the orders continue to roll in, Grayson says she's glued to her chair.
It's like a full-time job for you at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every keychain she makes is different, but the message here is all the same.
It says Hill Country Song.
Proving age is just a number.
It looks great.
And help can come from any hand. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
This is a sweet story right there. Okay, moving on to this one. Bit of little drama going on online. So this morning we got a mother responded to San Antonio Aquarium's statement on that viral octopus encounter. So the aquarium responded to KSAT's request for comment on the video days after the story was published, writing that the mother leaned her child over the exhibit barrier, allowing him to reach into the habitat without staff supervision. Well, it went on to say that the child remained calm throughout and medical assistance was offered but declined by the mother. Well, Brittany Taryn, the mother of the 6-year-old who was grabbed by that gigantic Pacific octopus, responded to the statement sent out by the aquarium. She said the San Antonio Aquarium's response is not only false, it is defamatory and appears to be a deliberate attempt to divert attention from the serious issues at hand. She said, contrary to the aquarium's claims, no medical attention was offered for my son, and I was not asked to sign an incident report. So KSAT requested a copy of that incident report from the aquarium and not have heard back just yet as of last night. But if you'd like to see the full statements from the aquarium and the mother, we have both of those available at KSAT.com. Talk about a national now conversation that is taking place surrounding this whole setup.
Mm-hmm. And the San Antonio Aquarium has been in the news many times over the past 4 years.
Not the first time.
But I'm glad that we got the statement from them, kind of to offer at least their side.
Oh, yeah.
Of things.
No, because, I mean, it's been going viral. You have so many different people offering their 2 cents of what they think shoulda, coulda, woulda happened.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, I hope it is solved. I hate to see this drama unfolding, but more than anything, happy that little Leo is okay.
Little boy's okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
So get this. Yesterday on GMSA, we announced the winner of the Back to School Sweepstakes. And you guys know we got the photo of the person who won. Get this, picking up her prize yesterday. Another big congratulations. This is Diana Palacios, the winner of the $500 gift card.
She's a mother of 3 kiddos that she has to shop for, and I just happened to walk in right out of Kerrville yesterday. I apologize for smelling like the Guadalupe River, but Diana could not have been sweeter. She was so excited. She sends her regards, loves GMSA. and was ready to go spend that $500.
So happy for her. That's such a blessing. This is why we do these giveaways, because people think that it's all about, oh, we need people to. No, this is for help. You know, this is helping, and we can see this is going to a good place. Shout out to you, Diana. I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful back-to-school shopping session with your 3 kiddos.
All right. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations to Diana. We know that money's going to go a long way. And over the weekend, I was already seeing a lot of stores that were already packed with back-to-school shoppers. And, of course, we have tax-free weekends. So hopefully Diana puts that to good use. And, of course, appreciate you always watching Good Morning San Antonio. Let's take a look here at the current traffic situation. 281 right here, Brook Hollow, north side of town. Things are looking pretty good there. How about my folks over here on the west side, 90 at West Military Drive. Another shot here of the near west side of town, General McMullen. Shout out to my folks there at Kennedy High School. Kennedy, Edgewood ISD, ready to start up school here pretty soon. 98 Nogalitos, traffic is looking good out there for our folks, again, south of downtown, west side of downtown. Not the case here on the northeast side, where we have some pretty good backups here. 35 at Olympia Parkway, traffic is backing things up. Not really yet to Selma, but we will continue to keep an eye on that situation. And we did clear out construction here. This is going to be our northbound traffic right here at 1604 past Bandera Road, right there by Brandeis High School. So things are good here on the far northwest side. Let's go to Justin with a check of today's forecast.
Hey, quick question for you, RJ. I've seen a few school buses out and about. Are they just doing their practice routes out, getting some practice in, I'm guessing?
I'm thinking they are, yes. A lot of different bus routes. Especially when we have some school consolidations, things of that nature. So,
yeah. So you know, the buses will be out in full force here in a couple of weeks. So just heads up there. And as we look at the forecast, we've got a heat high that is starting to shift in, and this is, as you know, going to be a big driver in our forecast. It's going to keep things really toasty and really rain-free. Now, it's not right over top of Texas, but it's close enough. You know, its influence is pretty far and wide. And I think this is really going to be the case through the weekend. Notice it doesn't move much. You know, throughout the summer, we had it kind of moving around, and it didn't stick in one spot, which was helpful for us. This go-around, it's kind of stuck. And that means that our forecast is going to be rather unchanged, again, all the way through the weekend. High temperatures today. No, look, we're not going 100 today. I think it'll be a little bit cooler. Yesterday was only 93, so that was helpful. Today, back up to 98. There will be some triple digits down to the south and west, but it will feel like it's above 100. These are the forecast heat indices at 5 o'clock, and I think it could feel like 102 here in town, 101 Pleasant, and 101 in Hondo. So we've had 9 100-degree days so far this year, and we are headed into, or we are in the midst of the hottest time of the year. This is the average temperature here in San Antonio, and you can see kind of the graph here as we look throughout the year. Early August is the peak. That's when we average our hottest temperatures, and then once we get into late August, temperatures start to fall. So that brings me to my next point. When might we see our first cold front? These things are hard to quantify, but if you use the data of a low under 65, a high under 90, and a dew point under 60, those are the thresholds we're going to use. You can go back over the years, and I've plotted out when we saw our first quote-unquote cold front, a decent cold front. And if you average it out, it would be September 23rd here in San Antonio. Look, that's not a hard and fast rule here, but I would say late September is when we start to see some of our good cold fronts. So that's what we have to look forward to. We're still a ways out, obviously, and we're not going to get one this week. That much I can tell you. A lot of triple digits on there, especially Thursday through Sunday, and not a lot of rain. Only very, very small chances Wednesday and Monday. Okay, in honor of Neil Armstrong's birthday, which is today, my question to you is, as of today, how many of the 12 astronauts that have walked on the moon are still alive? We're talking NASA astronauts here. Is it 2, 4, 6, or 8?
Well, thank you, Justin.
It's a tough one.
It is.
Go to ksat.com/poll, scan the QR code, let us know what you think.
Very good, sir.
522 right now, 73 degrees outside.
New mental health guardrails for ChatGPT, why the AI tool may start telling you to take a break. And a Galaxy Z Fold 7 gets pushed to the limit 200,000 times. Coming up.
In today's Tech Bites, mental health guardrails coming to ChatGPT. OpenAI says it's improving the chatbot's ability to detect emotional distress. The move comes amid reports that the bot feeds people's delusions. Reminders for users to take a break will also be introduced. A YouTuber is putting Samsung's thinnest foldable phone to the test. He's folding and unfolding the Galaxy Z Fold 7 200,000 times to see if it holds up. At one point, he did report a creaking sound coming from the hinge, but with about 50,000 folds to go, the phone appears to still be working just fine. And used cars are now on Amazon. The company is expanding its online dealership. It will now include used and certified pre-owned vehicles. Right now, the service is only available if you live in Los Angeles, but it's expected to expand to other cities in the coming months. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Very good. 526 right now, 73 degrees outside.
The Texas Democrats left the state to block a redraw of congressional lines. Now the fight going coast to coast. How Republican lawmakers back in Austin are threatening legal action. Plus,
the love for reading is built early on.
Who says reading and math can't be fun? These kids are loving numbers and the air conditioning. Why one Southside library is becoming a hot spot to cool off and learn. All right, we're back on this Tuesday morning. Hope everybody's doing well out there.
Yes, coming up on this 5:30 half hour of GMSA and Justin. Stop playing. So yesterday,
now you're about to hit me.
No, I will say yesterday I came home and for some reason my patio bench had been blown off of the porch. And I'm trying to figure out, was that weather related or did somebody just come on my yard and just...
Your house is haunted.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. We did get some gustier winds, but I don't know if it'd be strong enough to move.
Well, to be fair, it's like one of those little cheap things from Amazon.
Well, maybe that's one of them.
I needed a weight to hold it down anyway.
We did get a little bit of gusty winds yesterday. We had an outflow boundary came through and actually helped us with temperatures a lot. Unfortunately, we didn't get much rain here in San Antonio. Most of the heavy rain was well off to the east. And I got to tell you, there's no rain in the forecast today. It's going to be really a pretty sunny, quiet day. Noontime 90. We're up to 98 this afternoon. Heat index, this will be important. We'll feel like 103, 102, 103 for a time this afternoon. So please do note that. This is, something we're not used to, but we haven't had just a terribly hot summer. So it's a good reminder that that heat index will get to you quickly. We've had 9 days this year of 100 or above. And if you were curious, last year we had 27. So we're doing better than last year. We should end up better than last year. That's the idea. The average last 100-degree day is August 26th. So we're not too far away from that. Daytime highs this week, though, do feature quite a few triple-digit days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think that range you'll see high temperatures in the 100s, and obviously the heat index will be above that. So crank up the AC as you head out the door this morning, and we'll get you a look at your traffic coming up in just a bit. But for now, we're going to go over to Ernie.
Thank you, sir. Many Texas Democratic lawmakers are not in Texas right now. This morning, they are still out of the state after leaving over the weekend.
So it's all meant to stop the Texas Republicans from moving forward with a plan that's been backed by President Donald Trump to change the state's congressional map. Now, it is important to note that this is within the law to do this. So states usually redraw the congressional district boundaries once every 10 years after the release of the updated census population data. The political battle in Texas has big repercussions in Washington, where House Republicans enter a challenging midterm in 2026 with a very thin majority. Republicans argue that the Texas redistricting effort is a response to Democratic partisan gerrymandering.
Quite frankly, California is more gerrymandered than the maps that we're talking about today in Texas. All the other Democrat states are doing it. The state of Texas should as well.
We're going to fight fire with fire, and we're going to do everything we can right now to stand up against this unconstitutional power grab.
In California, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom said that if Texas Republicans move forward with redistricting, he would aim to put a new congressional map before California voters in a November special election.
This morning, the West Nile virus is in Bexar County. Metro Health confirmed the virus was found in a mosquito trap on the north side near West Avenue and Blanco Road. Now, tomorrow, authorities plan to spray that area. So far this year, 9 people have tested positive for West Nile virus. Leaders are telling people to take the normal precautions like eliminating standing water around their homes, using insect repellent, and wearing protective clothing, especially at dawn and dusk.
Okay, so not everyone is for Project Marvel, and they're making it known. Later this morning, we've got the public can give their opinion on the new Spurs arena at the Commissioner's Court meeting. The proposed downtown sports and entertainment district would include a new arena for the Spurs. Several groups, including Cops Metro and Domestica Unidas, are asking for a renewed community-centered review process on the project. They have concerns about infrastructure and costs.
In the 1 month since the deadly floods demolished parts of the Kerr County, we have learned a lot about the emergency response the morning of the 4th of July and the emergency alert system that was in place. River Inn General Manager Scott Towery was credited with alerting guests to the rising floodwaters that would soon wreck the resort in Hunt. But he says a notification was delivered to his phone after the water had already begun to recede.
5:30 in the morning is when we got our first alert. Hours into this that was upsetting.
Despite the fact that Kerr County has used the Code Red emergency alert system for 16 years, when a rescuer called for one to go out that fateful morning, he was told that sending the alert would require a higher-up to sign off. That led to a more than 1 hour delay before alerts finally went out.
Is there any way we can send a Code Red out to our Hunt residents asking them to find higher ground?
10-4 standby. We have to get that approved with our supervisor.
Internal Kerrville emails revealed the city's off-duty firefighters were not called to their respective stations until just before 9 a.m., hours after it had already become a catastrophic flooding event. For a full look at the timeline and what else we've learned about that morning, you can scan the QR code on the screen right there or just go to KSAT.com.
Now, we have heard from a lot of people who are looking for resources to support themselves after the floods. If you are one of those people, FEMA is accepting applications. Eligible survivors can get support for things like the rent, home repairs, food and water, as well as personal hygiene items, fuel for transportation, and funeral expenses. After applying, people should get a letter from FEMA with more information. The quickest way to apply for FEMA is online at disasterassistance.gov. Governors or survivors can also use the FEMA mobile app or call the FEMA helpline. If you need some help immediately, you're in Kerr County, you need to go to the Disaster Recovery Center at the First Baptist Church, and that's located at 625 Washington Street. Open every day from 8 to 7. Hill Country survivors have until Thursday, September 4th, to apply for FEMA disaster assistance. And we need to remind you, got a Together for Texas benefit concert taking place on August the 18th, which will help the Texas Hill Country communities recovering from the recent floods. The show will be held at the Tobin Center here in San Antonio, where all the proceeds will go to local flood relief efforts supporting towns like Kerrville and Comfort. And the tickets are starting at $35. You can catch the concert live, KSAT 12, KSAT Plus, and online.
All right, let's take a look at some of your morning headlines. And the Justice Department is looking to make public some transcripts of grand jury testimony against, see them right there, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. According to a court filing, the transcripts include 5 days of presentations, 2 in front of the Epstein grand jury and 3 in front of the Maxwell grand jury. This is the latest step the DOJ has made to make public some of the millions of records amassed during the Epstein investigation. Additional filings are expected later on today. And kind of going along with Justin's question of the day here is Just Ask Justin. NASA planning to return to the moon, but one big question remains: how will astronauts get the power to go up there? With 2 weeks of darkness each month, solar energy just will not cut it. So now NASA is fast-tracking plans to build a nuclear reactor on the lunar surface by 2030. NASA says that reliable energy is key to living and staying on the moon long term. All right, interesting stuff there. Can't wait to see the answer to Justin's question. And that event at the Tobin Center, hosted by Steve Trevino, a pretty funny guy. Also, Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias is going to be there. A lot of great acts, too, as well. 1604 Gold Canyon, 281 Hildebrand traffic is looking pretty good out here for our folks over by UIW. Still seeing some backups here. 35 Olympia Parkway. Now we are reaching parts of Evans Road and Selma. So you see the tail end of this right here. Slow going along 35 on the northeast side of town. And real quick here, Lavernia ISD has actually started school. They started yesterday, so do expect a little bit more bus traffic over by Bluebonnet Road. That's one of the entrances to get into the high school for bus drop-off. 1346, same situation there as well for their elementary and their middle school. So Lavernia ISD starting things out. with the brand new school year. Let's go to Alex Gomez in Drive Cam right now, see how things are looking on the roads. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So 35 southbound right there at 1604 on the northeast side. It's going to get a lot worse because cranes are still on the highway, crews are still working. So we could have a bigger delay later this morning on 35 south, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update on the ground. Alex in Drive Cam. Justin.
Thanks, sirs. We go outside with live cam. It is 5:38, 73 degrees, just a few clouds out over San Antonio right now. And we're watching Dexter in the Atlantic and probably a soon-to-be named storm way out in the Atlantic. Could it affect the United States? We'll take a look coming up.
And right now I am leaving the northeast side where we have our biggest slowdown, and it's all because of construction. So just be careful. I'll let you know after the break what to look out for and how many lanes are open right there at that interchange.
All right, welcome back. 5:44 now. So in your morning consumer headlines, wait for it. All right, Americans are feeling the pinch, especially at the grocery store. A new poll shows that more than half say rising food prices are a major source of stress. Nearly half also say housing costs are weighing them down. And many younger Americans are trying the buy now, pay later services just to cover basics like food and medical care. Money-saving experts say eliminating grocery delivery services, buying in bulk for staple items, and using your grocery store's app can save you some cash.
We actually think that you can lower your expense by $350 a month or $4,200 a year.
With the ongoing trade war escalating, some economists warn prices could keep climbing on everything from produce to cars.
We got a new option for families on the move, where some airports are adopting family-friendly security changes and a push to make travel less stressful for people flying with kids. So the TSA's new Families on the Fly campaign is geared towards groups traveling with kids 12 and under and creates dictated security lanes for families, discounts on TSA PreCheck, and a dedicated PreCheck security line for military families.
What we're seeing is an expedited process for the families, but then you're also seeing that our normal lines are going a little bit quicker too, because there's not any holdup with having to check children.
So the program, which saw a limited launch in July, is now expanding to include major vacation destinations like Orlando, Orange County, California, and Honolulu. And it's the second big change to TSA policy this summer, where last month airports did away with forcing passengers to take off their shoes at security, which was so exciting for me. I know that was the most basic thing to be happy about, but when I was flying this past summer, actually like a couple weekends ago, I didn't have to take my shoes off. And I did notice that they were setting aside families. I don't know if they were just doing that just to test it out, but I was just like, oh, that's nice. That's fast. No shoes.
It helps. You travel with little kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's a process.
That works.
Yes, it is.
It is a process.
I'm all about it, man. And speaking of traveling, the roadways looking pretty good this morning, huh?
Yes, not too many issues out there, Jeff. Just some ongoing construction over here on the north side of town, 1604 Gold Canyon. You see some of those construction barrels off to the side there for some of our drivers making their way through the north side of town. Obviously, ongoing construction on this one stretch of Gold Canyon as we get close to the flyover right there at 281. This, of course, is all part of the Loop 1604 expansion project, which is basically all the way from Bandera to 1604 and right here. As a matter of fact, 1604 and 35. Okay, here's the situation right here on the northeast side of town, 35 Olympia Parkway. Some pretty good backup right here. You see basically bumper to bumper traffic for all of our folks that are making their way past Selma, headed towards down to Live Oak and, of course, Universal City. I think Alex is there, so we'll check in with him in just a little bit. Real quick, do want to remind folks about traffic starting to build right here. 35 north headed into the downtown area. That's going to be at Alamo Street, South Laredo Street there as well. Yesterday we had an accident that caused some major delays in this one area, so just stay safe if you're going to be around here. All right, let's check in with Alex Gomez right now in Drive Cam for us on this Tuesday morning. What's up, Alex? Good to see you.
Yeah, good morning, RJ. So I just left the northeast side in 35 South where they still have crews on the highway and two big cranes. So it could be a bigger delay if you're coming down 35 southbound. However, the northbound lanes had no issues whatsoever, RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that update, Alex. All right, Justin, weather was not bad last night, yesterday evening.
It turned out pretty nice. Yeah,
it was nice.
We had those storms come in from North Texas, which, by the way, they did quite a bit of damage up around Dallas. We are getting reports now that they had a wind gust of 89 miles per hour at DFW Airport yesterday morning, which did do a little bit of damage. But we just basically got a few showers and some gusty winds out of it, and that was it. It did cool us down, though, yesterday, and that was nice. I want to show you the big picture here across the Atlantic. We've got Dexter here, which is kind of limping along as it moves out to the north and east. The Hurricane Center is flagging that area right there. So far, nothing to really talk about. But maybe the biggest story is this wave coming off the coast of Africa because it is showing some promise. And there is a 50% chance of development with this down the line. We still have plenty of time to watch it. And we shall see where it heads. Right now, it would take more of a northwesterly route, which these tend to kind of curve back out over the Atlantic, but we shall see. It's just too early to say for sure. Out in the Pacific, 80% chance of development here, and then we have Henriette, which has formed. This may get close to Hawaii, but at this point, it would stay pretty weak. So that's not a big issue either. All this to say, it is still very active in the Atlantic and Pacific, just a lot like what we showed you yesterday. Forecast back at home. 90 noontime, 96 at 2 o'clock, 98 at 4 p.m. That will be our high temperature. Do keep in mind, though, the heat index is going to be up around 102 as we get into the afternoon. 104 Gonzales, 105 Victoria, 107 potentially in Carrizo Springs. So it is going to be a very, very hot, humid day. Stuff we're pretty much used to, although this summer hasn't been as bad as previous summers. So, just a quick reminder that it's not going to feel too nice outside. Water vapor imagery. What are we looking at here? Well, it shows you the moisture in the atmosphere where you see the orange and black colors. That's drier air. Where you see the green colors, that's some moisture that has developed. We're starting to see kind of that drier air edge in from the west, and that's because of our heat high, and it is going to edge a little bit closer in the coming days, which will keep us very warm and very dry. Sunset this morning will be at 6:56. We're about an hour away from that. Sunset at 8:23. Total sunlight, 13 hours, 26 minutes. Forecast for the rest of the week, 99 tomorrow. Very small chance of a coastal shower. Otherwise, this is a pretty unremarkable forecast, other than there are a lot of digits. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All right, our question this morning has to do with space, because today is the late great Neil Armstrong's birthday. So as of 2025, how many of the 12 astronauts that have walked on the moon are still alive? 2, 4, 6, or 8. You can vote. Go to ksat.com/poll, scan the QR code, and we'll give you that answer here in about an hour.
That's a good one. Another good one today.
Yep.
What you're thinking, Kat Vaughn. All right, 5:51 right now, 73 degrees outside.
So we came to San Antonio mid-season, and now Darren Fox is here to stay. Up next, RJ Marquez breaking down that jaw-dropping contract that locks him in with the Spurs through 2030.
All right, 5:54, welcome back. And guess who's picking up the tab for the next breakfast taco run? That would be this guy right here, Spurs point guard De'Aaron Fox, who reportedly signed the richest contract in team history. This is a reported 4-year, $229 million max contract deal that will keep Swipe of the Fox right here with the Spurs until 2030. The Spurs traded for De'Aaron Fox last season to team him up with All-Pro Victor Wembanyama and also Steph Castle.
One, going into my third contract, obviously a lot of guys don't get to make it here. Going into year 9 is something that's extraordinary in itself, but being able to do it here, being able to do it for such a storied franchise, for me is just a blessing, and I appreciate them believing in me, and I'm just ready to, have a full healthy season.
Okay, $229 million would let me believe in you too. All right, Fox averaged about 20 points and 7 assists last season with the Spurs, but unfortunately had season-ending finger surgery, so that cut his time with his new team a little bit short.
I think what'll be different going forward is fans are going to see me play with 10 fingers. Obviously, health-wise, last year was definitely different.
Okay, so the Spurs and De'Aaron Fox will start preseason play October 6th against a team from China. Pretty cool experience there at the Frostbank Center. Go Spurs, go. Back to you guys.
That's like over $50 million a year.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. Anyways, congratulations.
We should have played NBA basketball.
Right.
We're clearly in the wrong business. But on to the news. In another hour here. Up next, a deadly crash on the west side to tell you about. We'll have more on what police told us overnight about a motorcyclist who passed away in this crash.
Plus, we got the South Side Library buzzing with energy and equations. You can see how they're making learning cool this summer.
And as we leave you, one more look at DriveCam. Alex Gomez back in the fold with us this morning. We will hear from him. And of course, RJ, Justin, the rest of the crew, Patty, etc. when we come back.